Okay, let's talk about something that's literally all around us, but we barely notice. I want you to think about pretty much everything you own. Your phone, the clothes you're wearing, the food in your fridge. Yep, a truck brought it there at some point. Today, we're going to get behind the wheel and really understand the massive, complex, and absolutely essential world of trucking.
You know, this one sentence really just says it all. We see those giant container ships on the news, we see the cargo planes, but honestly, they're just part of the story. In the US alone, trucks move over 70% of all freight. They are that final, crucial link that brings the entire global economy right to our doorstep.
And that, right there, is the superpower of the truck. I mean, think about it. A ship can't exactly pull up to a warehouse in the middle of the country. A plane can't land on Main Street. Only trucks have that go-anywhere, door-to-door flexibility. It's what makes the whole incredible system actually work.
So how does this unseen engine actually run? Let's break it down and start with the basics.
Okay, so if you want to move any kind of product, you've basically got two big choices to make right off the bat. The first one is all about the hardware. What kind of truck do you actually need for the job? And picking the right trailer is absolutely critical. A dry van? That's your classic workhorse. It's for all your general goods. But hey, try to ship ice cream in one of those and, well, you're going to end up with a very expensive puddle. For that, you need a temperature control trailer, what they call a reefer. Got a giant piece of construction equipment? You'll need an open-air flatbed. And for liquids like fuel or milk, a specialized tanker is the only way to go. You get this choice wrong, and you're looking at spoiled products and some huge financial losses.
Your second big choice is all about balancing cost versus speed. So if you're shipping enough stuff to fill an entire truck, you'll use what's called full truckload, or FTL. It's like chartering a private jet. It's a direct, dedicated trip. It's fast, it's secure. But what if you only have a few pallets? That's where less than truckload, or LTL, is a total game changer. Your shipment basically shares space and cost with other people's stuff. It is the absolute lifeblood for smaller businesses.
All right, with those fundamentals in mind, let's zoom way out. We're about to take a super fast road trip across 5 continents, and you're going to see how these simple choices play out on a global scale, where the roads, the rules, and the challenges could not be more different. First stop, Europe. Now, on paper, Europe looks like a logistics dream. You've got this dense, modern, and really efficient road network. But that very density comes with a price, especially when you've got cities built centuries ago clashing with 21st century traffic jams.
So Europe's whole system is defined by two things: integration and regulation. You've got the 10TT network, which is designed to make travel seamless, but then you hit natural choke points like the Alps, and suddenly you have these massive bottlenecks. On top of all that, it is an expensive place to drive a truck. We're talking high fuel taxes, complex tolls, and some of the strictest rules in the entire world for how long a driver can be on the road.
Now let's cross the Atlantic to North America. Here, the main challenge isn't density, it's just sheer, mind-boggling scale. The network is absolutely vast, connecting 3 massive countries with incredible volumes of cross-border trade. And all that scale leads to some amazing efficiency. At just 5 to 6 cents per ton kilometer, moving goods here is relatively cheap. But, and this is a big but, that number hides a growing crisis. You've got high labor costs and, even more importantly, a chronic shortage of qualified drivers that is putting the entire system under some serious pressure. Okay, now let's head south to Latin America, and the picture just changes dramatically. The challenges here are often much more fundamental. We're talking about a lack of infrastructure investment and some really significant security risks that create a system that's both expensive and unpredictable.
And the cost? It tells the whole story. At 12 cents per ton kilometer, it's more than double the cost of North America. And this isn't because of high wages. No, this is driven by the daily reality of poorly maintained roads, a high risk of cargo theft, and these bureaucratic border crossings that can just stall a shipment for days on end.
All right, now we jump across the Pacific to China. This is a country that has built a truly world-class logistics network at a speed that is just unheard of, and it was all done to serve its role as the world's factory floor. So, China's National Trunk Highway System is the largest expressway network on the planet. It's an engineering marvel built for pure efficiency. But the weak points? The ports. The sheer volume of goods just creates this crippling congestion.
Then you add in high tolls and the massive human migration that happens around holidays like the Lunar New Year, and that super efficient system can grind to a complete halt.
Our final stop on this tour brings us to Africa. And this is a continent where road transport isn't just one option. For many places, it is the only option. For its many landlocked nations, trucking is an absolute lifeline to the global economy.
But that lifeline is incredibly fragile. Poorly maintained roads are the norm, not the exception. And that problem is made worse by notoriously slow border crossings, constant security worries like hijacking, and these unpredictable costs of unofficial facilitation payments you sometimes have to make just to keep the wheels turning.
So, after that whirlwind world tour, it's pretty clear that while a lot of the challenges are regional, some problems are just universal. Let's take a look at the kind of gridlock that affects pretty much everyone, everywhere.
This chart right here really puts our entire trip into economic perspective. That huge gap you see between North America and Latin America, that's not just a number on a chart. It represents the real-world cost of bad infrastructure and high risk. It's basically a tax on every single product that gets moved, and it's a tax that's ultimately paid by you, the consumer.
But you know what? No matter how cheap or how expensive the journey is, there is one universal headache that unites truckers all across the globe: waiting at the board.
And this delay is just an anatomy of frustration. First, you just arrive and hit the queue. Then come the dual inspections, one on each side of the border. Every single piece of paperwork is scrutinized for the tiniest error. And even if you do everything perfectly, you can still get trapped for days by something totally out of your control, like a customs system failure or a sudden strike. And all that time, the wheels aren't turning and money is just pouring out the window.
So, where does all of this leave us? After seeing the trucks, the networks, the gridlock, what does the road ahead actually look like for this incredibly vital system?
We've gone from looking at a single trailer all the way up to this complex global network. And the big takeaway is clear. Trucking is the connective tissue of our modern economy. But it's a system that is being constantly strained by rising costs, by endless congestion, and by just completely unpredictable delays.
And that leaves us with a really critical question for the future. As global demand for goods just keeps growing, and as we all expect everything to be delivered faster and cheaper than ever before, can this backbone of modern trade actually bear the increasing weight we're putting on it?